We are live, baby. What's up? IUWE, BGE. Let's go. We'll talk crew here
Ooh.
today coming at you. We're here to talk about my we're missing our left arm. But it's all gravy. He'll be back soon for sure. We are going to talk about NBA playoff. Who's in, who's out, the playing games. Oh, those playing games. I can't wait to get to that one. We're going to talk about Ohio students, high school students receiving endorsements or no. What do you say? And we also want your comments on that topic, of course. And we'll talk Masters and opening day MLB, more like opening week at this point, but opening week in the MLB. And I also can't wait to get to that one because I got somebody I can't wait to talk about. Oh my goodness, these Guardians. I did it. I said Guardians. All right, y'all got to be happy now. Okay, so but first and foremost, we lost a couple people over the weekend. One of them being Dwayne Haskins, former Ohio State national champion. Dwayne Haskins was struck on the side of the road and killed over the weekend. Very sad, very unexpected. Um, Joski Doski, say what's up to the people and tell us what you think about this Dwayne Haskins thing.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for joining us here tonight. Yeah, obviously, just some extremely unfortunate news. This is one of those times where, look, I know what team he came from, but there's no difference in opinion of sports teams when it comes to lives. Dwayne Haskins was a great guy, honestly, and he just didn't deserve to have happen. We're still waiting for a lot of news to come out, of course, of why exactly he was crossing the highway or whatnot. I do know that they said that his motorcycle ran out of gas, but then there's like some questions about why he didn't just call for assistance or whatnot. Whatever it may be, I will tell you that the one thing I've despised the most is just some of the comments that have come out. I've lost a lot of respect for Adam Schefter out of everyone because his comments were just unnecessary. Really, honestly, there's no other way to say it politely enough where people are listening right now. It had nothing to do with his level of play. That should have just never been mentioned. Adam Schefter really dropped the ball on that. He took a lot of heat for it, and he knew it was wrong. That's exactly why he took down the tweet and put a new one up. But that's the thing about social media, man. Like, hey, it's forever. Even when you think you make an adjustment quick enough, someone took that screenshot quick enough, and it got around the internet. And I think he deserves everything that gets said about him. Whether or not I think it should lead to him being removed or whatever, that's beyond the point. But yeah, unfortunately, we lost a really, really great person. Honestly, everyone has had nothing but good things to say about him, from his teammates at Ohio State to Washington to Pittsburgh in the short time he's been there. Just very sad, very unfortunate.
Yeah, it really is. And that Adam Schefter thing, man, he's been in some hot water a couple P thing. He got the information from the hospital and then released it to everybody, which is totally illegal. You absolutely can't do that. Hefe, what do you got, man? Say what's up to the people and give us a little bit about Dwayne Haskins.
What's everybody? What's up? Hope everyone's doing well. Like we said, big weekend in sports, big week coming up, and you know what? And I was pulling up to my draft Saturday, my baseball draft, my big league, and like boom, I'm blowing up, and the radio's blowing up, and everyone that's pulling up is talking about, wow, man, this Dwayne Haskins. Did you hear? Did you hear? And all I can say about it, it's tragic. And there was a couple mixed things that I heard on some of the people talking about, wow, what was going on at this point in time, and kind of like misrepresenting him as a person. Because all I've heard from everyone that knew him and knew about him and was with him said that this was a pretty good kid, man. He was 24 years old, and regardless of playing football or whatever. He's good family, and the only thing that I can say is tragic, and tragic things happen all the time. And this one, as far as all of us goes, is we all watched him play at Ohio State, dozens of games, I'm sure, and so it brings it a little bit closer to home. But as far as that goes, it was tragic news on a weekend that had a lot of upbeat and positive news.
Right, no doubt. Hey, and our condolences and hopeful thoughts go out to the Haskins family and everybody, all his close friends and family. Like, we're really thinking about you guys out here. That one kind of hurt. Honestly, it came out of nowhere. I always wish the best for everybody, but especially our guys from Ohio State. You know, I want to see them all do good and prove people wrong and go through their trials and tribulations and come out on top, because it seems to be most of our players. But we'll go ahead and transition on here. We'll move on and we'll talk about Ohio students, high school students receiving endorsements. Big, big money for very young people. Now, this is a hot topic. There's a lot of people on different sides of the fence here with this one. Joski Doski, do you think that this is okay? Is this something that you side with, paying young athletes?
So I do have a couple different takes on this. I mean, the first one, and this is really where I'm leaning heavily at. I don't know how old you guys were when you guys got a car, but I was 16 years old. My parents got me one immediately. It was mainly my dad. It was because they couldn't really afford to take me places, and the reason they couldn't afford it is because they were too busy doing other things like working themselves or at home making dinner, whatever the case may be, taking the other kids somewhere. Yeah, exactly. Doing life, they couldn't take me anywhere. And so they got me a car, and that's how I was able to go to the mall or go hang out with my friends and everything else. So I just kind of put myself back in that position and think of myself as a high school student again. And, granted, I didn't play any sports. I did try to play baseball the 1 year, and because of reasons I don't want to discuss on air, I ended up sitting on the bench with you guys, keeping score. But, I just wonder, like, when do you have time to actually make money to go do those things? Unless you are from a privileged family, and that's not a knock on anyone's talent whatsoever. So if anyone out there is listening to this, don't take that as a knock towards your talents. But unless you're coming from a privileged family who can actually afford to give you money to go out and go to the movie, go to the movies with your friends, or go to the mall and do all of these other things, then you just don't have the means to make it. So by the time it comes down to it, and you want to be able to go have a social life, and you have to put gas in your vehicle, or at least pay for gas money, or pay for a bus fare, or whatever the hell the case may be. But then you also are still expected to be, an athlete, still go make practice and go out and play well. And then most importantly, maintain your grades. It's just impossible. It's not something that can be done. So, you shouldn't have to have a trade-off for your social life just because you want to play sports. You shouldn't. So I don't disagree with it. Now, the other end of it, of course, is that we just don't know enough about this, really. I tried to look up a lot of information to tell you guys the truth, and I wasn't able to find out a lot. And it's kind of crazy. Something they're supposed to be voting on in a matter of weeks, but we don't know a lot of the ins and outs. Like, we don't know how these funds would be allocated. Are the parents getting some of the money if they do get these endorsement deals? Are these only certain schools? Because of course we know that some schools are more, have more athletic teams than others. So, that becomes an issue. There's a lot of issues that can arise from that. One of the biggest things I felt shocking was that the schools and everything, even though their principals will be voting on this, don't even want their logos or anything on any of the endorsements. Right. So are you going to want money? Are you going to want compensated? Because to me, that's like saying, hey, I want you to go commit this crime, but I don't want anything to do with it, but I would still like my cut. No, like you're either all in, you're all out. Like, you can't tell these kids, like, and these companies, no, we don't want our logos, our team logos, our school name, any of that on any of your endorsement ads or anything, but we still want compensated. So, as of right now, I lean heavily towards it, but depending on what some of those ins and outs are, I could definitely see myself swaying up to the other side of that.
Yeah, no doubt. The ins and outs definitely make a difference when it comes to something like this. I am 100% in favor. I'm 100% in favor. If a young kid has that type of dedication, natural ability, of course, and work ethic to get an endorsement deal in high school, yeah, pay him. Pay him. Yes, absolutely. I think that's going to be the way out for a lot of young kids, especially young black kids. That they need is yet another outlet that's opening up for them, for everyone, of course. But else that you can work towards, it's another outlet that you can put your energy and effort into to better your situation. For example, this kid, his name is Mikey Humes. He's 17 years old, superstar. They think he's gonna skip college, which he has offers from North Carolina, LSU, Kansas, Pittsburgh, and Tennessee. And he's a baller from North Carolina. He is an absolute monster for sure. I went and checked some footage out of the guy. He's a combo guard, 6'2". He's the real deal. He's the first person to sign with a major company. That would be Puma. And it was for $1 million. Now, I'm all for that. I'm good with it. But the ins and outs, like you said, Joe, have to make sense. Because number one, he's 17. Okay. Number two, he's gonna need guidance in how to handle this kind of money and attention and pressure. He's gonna need PR training. He's gonna need all that stuff because he can go out there, do some 17-year-old regular antic stuff and lose it all, and in a worse situation than before. Like these things are definitely on the table, but I think the ins and outs have to make sense. That it has to come with counseling and money, organization, skills, and classes, whatever they need to do.
The things that they should be teaching in school anyway.
Yeah, well, you got that right. That's a whole nother topic right there. We can get into that one for sure, because these schools need to be teaching a lot of stuff about life. But I would say for those young athletes who are that gifted, yeah, they need some. They're gonna need some extra attention along with those endorsements. FA, what do you think about this oncoming Ohio endorsement deal for high school athletes?
Well, look, I'm trying to run around and try to find the best reception because I haven't heard a word really what's been said over the past couple minutes because I'm in and out. But look, as far as this goes, I think that honestly, my whole take would be a whole show. It would be a whole entire show on this because I know that we try not to swear, but I'm giving an emphatic fuck no. Because honestly, I mean, where are we going? Where are we going to draw the line between a professional athlete and so-called amateurism? Are we going to have this little kid that scores 27 touchdowns in his peewee year when he's 6 years old, making millions of dollars in endorsement? I think there's, like you guys said, there's so many ins and outs. And the main one here to me is most of this money is probably going to come from social media endorsements and stuff. And that's a whole separate story of whether you're an athlete or whether you're a academic or whether you're actually, that's why I asked you to pull up that picture, Drew, because this is where I think this whole thing is going right there. And this is why this endorsement thing is becoming such a big deal right now, because esports, that's an esports complex, $16 million to build that complex. And now we're feeding $20 million in scholarships a year. And these kids also qualify to like win these worldwide tournaments. There's a 17-year-old last year that won whatever the big esport tournament was. He got a check for $3 million. You know how much Tiger Woods' check was? His last Masters, it was $2 million. So we got a 17-year-old kid. So honestly, if he's representing like his school and his esports team, does that mean that's his school's money? And because it's endorsement money, and that means, does that go in to fund it all? Because I looked up some numbers, and like I said, I've been walking around to try to find the best reception that I could find. But I have some numbers, and there's 26,700 high schools in this country, and literally less than 1% of those can even afford to keep their own sports programs going. So what does it mean, endorsement deal? Nike comes into Cloverleaf High School that can't even upgrade their stands every year. And then what? Does the outstanding quarterback that even, or Kyle Juszczyk, he's from Cloverleaf. There we go. Perfect example. If this would have been possible 10 years ago, then what? Nike comes in and says, oh my gosh, we got this amazing kid that might make it to the NFL. So they endorse the whole school, and then everybody benefits in that money. Or does Kyle Juszczyk get some money, and then how do they distribute the other money? Like I said, this is a long conversation for me right now, but I think that paying high school players, endorsement deals are different than high school players getting paid. Even the name, likeness, and all that kind of, it's a little bit different. But in high school, I don't think that's the time or place. There still has to be room for amateurism in our sports. And that's why like the Olympics aren't like what they used to be, because it used to be our amateurs against the best in the entire world. And now it doesn't mean anything to be an amateur, because if you're a good amateur, you can get paid. So what happens to this freshman high school kid that's supposed to be the phenom of the world? He makes $10 million before he even gets to college. Why does he want to go play football? Why would he want to go play football and risk like lifelong injury and crap like that when he's already made $10 million? I think this is like the whole, like, we're in this switch of sports. And seriously, man, these kids nowadays, 99% of them play video games, and like 42% of them actually play sports anymore. So we're on this big switch. You know what I mean? And these endorsement deals are coming from these big companies that make games and are promoting this esports. And we've talked about this many times before, and we haven't really touched on it that much, but this esports stuff, it's no joke. And there's real money involved there, where there's not real money involved in your high school football, baseball, and basketball teams. I don't like it. You can't pay these kids yet.
Well, you know, and just to kind of touch on what you're saying, which I understand your take on it, but that's kind of where I think that are you still talking right now, or are you just, I think it might be behind. No, yeah, I think your video's behind, because I saw your lips moving, but yeah, so I mean that's where, I mean, they said they didn't want their logos or team names or anything on there. I mean, these schools are putting themselves in that position. And why, I couldn't really tell you, but you know, how do you justify actually wanting some of that endorsement money going to the schools if they don't want to have anything to do with it? Which, like, it kind of blinds me. Like, why are you guys even voting on it? It kind of seems like it's, hey, if you guys don't want to put your names on it, it seems like it shouldn't even be on the table. But that's beyond the point. As far as the esports stuff is concerned, man, hey, this is the same argument doctors have had about professional sports for the longest. Why is it that, you know, an NFL quarterback makes more money than a doctor who fixes his knee that he blew out? You know, it's because people aren't paying to go and watch doctors do surgeries. Unfortunately, for high school sports and college sports, to an extent, you know, hey, esports is a big thing now. The younger generation, they're on YouTube all day. They're watching these Call of Duty live or Rocket League live. You know, they're getting the views, and that's where all the money is generated from. I know that because my brother, he does bodyguard work for Ninja. I'm like, why does Ninja need a bodyguard? But hey, it's that big now. That's just what it is. So I mean, people are watching it. They're getting views.
But see, that's where I think the endorsement stuff's coming from, because that's huge money. Huge money. That's bigger than Riddell money right now. You know what I mean? And Riddell makes shoulder pads and helmets and stuff. And now you're talking about EA, whatever, and whatever these companies are that make Fortnite, man. The money's bigger there than it is for the guys that make high school aluminum bats.
it's no one's fault. It's where the demand is. That's what the people are demanding right now. That's
It's
just where
changing.
the money's
Yes,
flowing to. The money's
it's
flowing there.
changing.
But are you guys so are you also against like child actors like Lil Macaulay Culkins out there making too much money, or because I'm
Well, they
more
didn't.
against putting
They didn't
kids
make the
in
money.
Hollywood than I am
They didn't make the
paying.
money though. They didn't make the money. Those went into funds. Ask Britney Spears. Ask Colin McCaukin. Those went into funds that like their parents and guardians had control over. They didn't get paid. Their estate got paid. Their name got paid. There were trusts set up for them, but they were not getting directly paid. It's even like, you know what? It's so silly. Real quick, my daughter loves to watch Ryan videos, and Ryan is the #1 paid child YouTuber in the entire world, and his family makes like $30 million a year by watching him do nothing but try toys and go to McDonald's. And we were watching the one right before while I was doing a little research for our show. Adley is her name, and everyone follows Adley, but it's her dad who used to be in the business of gaming and all that kind of stuff, and now he makes these crazy videos of them doing everything that they do, and they make 10 to 15 million dollars a year on the likeness of their children. And Adley is the star, but dad's the one that runs the whole stuff, and Adley's not getting directly paid. So that's the whole other thing that comes to when you're talking about under 18. You can pay kids, because this is what Shonda told me, because she worked at McDonald's. You can pay kids 15 if a work permit, 16 with a work permit, 17 with a work permit. You can legally pay them. But I'm not sure that under 18, like these legal contracts for large sums of money and terms of work come into play. And that's where like it would kind of be weird in high school too, because who, like you said, Joe, in the very beginning, who's making the money, who's responsible for the money, and how's it getting paid out?
Right.
We're not ready for this, I think.
It could be a mess. I think they are ready. It's happening in other capacities, and it's happening in other states. They can make it work, but will it? Who knows? There's always greed involved. There's always shady things. It does open up more of a Pandora's box type deal. Like it could open up the gates,
Money.
Who knows? But right, hey, that money, baby. That's right. Hey, we're gonna slide on over here to the NBA playoffs, boy. But first, I'm gonna hit this graphic. What's up? What's in the news? These don't have sound effects, so I'll make them for them. Whoop, gone, boy. That's what I'm talking about. So I know it's like a second behind, so it's not gonna line up. But anyhow, the NBA playoff are among us. The playing games are set. The seeds are set. Are you guys excited or what? And tell me what you think, Joski Doski.
I'm definitely excited. So I mean, the Celtics honestly are going to play really well. Jason Tatum really turned that curve this year. And it's very exciting. And Jaylen Brown seems to be playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because he thinks that there is some unfinished business from before that injury last year. So I hope that takes them somewhere. The unfortunate part about it is I don't necessarily know how far it is really going to take them because they lost a key piece a few weeks ago, and that was Robert Williams. Without him, they really are that team that was just getting beat up over the past 4 or 5 years that we've seen them in the NBA playoffs because they don't have a rim protector. So, that becomes an issue. But as it stands right now, just the 1 through 6 is Miami, Boston, Milwaukee, Philly, Toronto, Chicago. And, I don't know how the games are going to shake out until these play-ins, which the play-ins is really what I want to touch on, honestly. I think these are extremely exciting. You have Cleveland going to Brooklyn in the 8-7 matchup. And then the winner of that, of course, becomes the 7 seed. And then the loser gets to have another chance and play the winner of the Charlotte Atlanta series, which is the 10 against the 9. So really what that to me means is I think that Cleveland has a good chance of actually getting themselves into a position to play in the series. They could fluke up and beat Brooklyn. Is it likely? Unfortunately, I don't think so Kyrie Irving is now getting into that groove. He hadn't been there all year. When he finally was there, he was going through the whole thing where they had to strict New York COVID protocols, and he would only play what was it, away games or whatever it was, whatever the case may be. Now that he's been playing more full time, he's actually starting to hit his averages, which kind of makes Brooklyn, all in all, just a scary team in the playoffs in general. So I don't know if they'll be able to take care of business against them. The fact that it's one game does give them an opportunity just to sneak it really quick, of course. But nonetheless, even if they don't win that game, I definitely think I can see them beating either Charlotte or Atlanta in the one game, especially with Mobley back out on the court as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. My one message for the Cavaliers.
Do it! Just do it!
Just do it. That's it. No ifs, ands, buts about it. No excuses. I don't care about how the seating shook out. I don't care they got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and James Harden. Oh, wait, no. He gone. But we got to win this game. We got to get in there. We're a little bit more healthy, and I really think that we can pull this thing off. Did we go over the West teams real quick? The West, we got.
Well, you gotta give Jeff his chance to talk about the East.
Maybe.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was just gonna name them off, but hey, yo, Hefe, what do you think about the East basketball?
Well, as far as it all goes, I'm still rolling with Milwaukee. I hit it last year, Milwaukee and Phoenix. It was before the playoffs started. Phoenix was going to beat LA, but I like Milwaukee coming out. Of course, you guys know I'm a Bulls fan, so I'm going to root for number 6 Bulls. But I mean, the hardest I'm going to root for this year are the Cavs. But look, what an exciting year! They overachieved. They did all the things that nobody expected. And then they had more injuries than any other team in the league. And they have a chance to win. I don't think as 8-point underdogs in Brooklyn. I think they can win the second game, but I don't think they have what it takes to win a series either. But that's not to say that it wasn't a fantastic season. JB Bickerstaff is building a program here that these guys are buying into. We got some good young players, and they play in a system, they play in a team, and I think the future looks bright for the Cavs as long as they don't reconsider bringing LeBron James back. So tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun to watch, but it's a lot to expect for them to win that game, I think.
You got to bring LeBron.
It is expecting a lot. Oh boy. Hey, we'll save that for a debate him, because I didn't want him back at first, but now I kind of do. But yeah, with Miami being the 1 seed in the East, that really is just amazing to me that they held on to it, honestly. But I'm looking at the 76ers here at the 4th spot, the 4 seed. Man, they're dangerous. Joel Embiid's a monster. They're well-rounded, put-together team. I think the Sixers could end up coming out of this thing. I will not be pulling for the Bulls. I hate them forever. And sorry, Jeff. But
sorry, Drew.
To think
sorry, man.
To think that the Cavs are gonna make like a big run. We definitely cooled down in the second half of the season. There was a little bit of controversy coming out of the All-Star break with guys playing with injuries and coming off of injuries and things like that. But it is what it is. We're here now. We just got to do the best that we can do. So as far as the West is concerned, we're talking about the Suns, number 1 seed. This has to be a typo. The Grizzlies are the 2 seed in the West. What? The Warriors, followed by the Warriors, the Mavericks, the Jazz, Nuggets, and then playing games, Clippers, T-Wolves, and Spurs, Pelicans. So, hey, I'm not too adept with the West here. I really watch a lot of East basketball, but I think the Warriors are going to make a lot of noise. And who plays for the Grizzlies? What?
Morant.
Joe,
Morant.
can you help me? Yeah, John Morant. Yeah, no, you're right. He was sitting over on the sideline all iced out the other day. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he's a beast.
All iced out, dude. He
They're
is a
young.
monster. You're right.
They're young. They're
That's
young.
the man, right? He is the man.
Yeah,
They are
Ja's very. He's definitely something special, man. And you know, like, you know, it's just that time for young talent in the Western Conference. It seems like, you know, I think that's what happened over there is that these guys really just started taking over last year. Jeff just mentioned it a couple minutes ago. He called Milwaukee beating LA. The Suns beating LA. None of us thought it was really going to be possible, but you know, I think the Phoenix was one of the first teams that really started doing it, even though they're semi-led, and I say semi because really, it really is Devin Booker's team, but you can't disregard Chris Paul being there. But yeah, you know, they really started a trend out there. As far as the other teams that are out there, Golden State. Unfortunately, that injury that happened against the Celtics, actually, for Steph Curry, I just don't think they're going to be able to go anywhere. I don't believe he's expected to come back, at least at this moment. Nothing I've heard. Still a little bit of news to be found out about what's going on with what's his name from Dallas? Why can't I remember? Yeah, Doncic. I believe he left the San Antonio game yesterday with the injury. So you know. Still don't know what's going on with that. So it seems like it's a lot of injury news to watch, really. As far as the play-in games are concerned, I mean, I fully expect the Clippers to win that game against Minnesota, but the Clippers are just that team. Like, what is this going to be, year 3, where, you know, like they lose a game that, you know, beforehand has been series, but they lose when they're supposed to win. They just don't seem to be consistent enough. I don't know if Kawhi's playing. I believe there's injuries over there too. I'm just as guilty as you are, Drew, of not really paying much attention to the West. You know, I dip my head in every once in a while to see what's going on. San Antonio, New Orleans, I really kind of just don't care. This is the result of the whole play-in, where it's like we shouldn't really be talking about it is a lot different than the East. The East, all of those teams actually really have respect for and think that they played their asses off. San Antonio, New Orleans, I mean, realistically, these guys just got a free spot, you know, just for happening to be the 9 and a 10 seed. So I could probably argue that about Minnesota too, but I mean, maybe they're a little bit better than I thought. So sure, but the Clippers are really the ones that are leading the pack in that whole entire play-in thing. So it's just whether or not they win that first game or not.
Right. No doubt about it. Yeah, we'll see how it shakes out. But with the Grizz being number 2, I'm really that's impressive that they pulled that off.
So the Cavs win their game? The Cavs beat Brooklyn tomorrow night?
Can they?
I say no.
I don't think so, man. Like, you know, Kyrie Irving he's just going to have that random little chip on his shoulder. You know, Kyrie Irving always has to come up with a chip or something of some sort, even though he's the one that put it there on himself. You know, like, we didn't do anything to him. The Cavs didn't do anything to him. The Celtics didn't do anything to him. No one has ever done anything to Kyrie Irving, but he's always got something to say. Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure he'll do that and probably drop 40, 45 tomorrow night and whatever.
Yeah, I say no. They win the next game, though.
What's that?
They win the second one, though. So they stay in.
Second one? There's 2.
They lose tomorrow. They can still stay in. They have another game to win.
Yeah, so the loser of the 7 and the loser of the 7 of the 7 and 8 plays the winner of the 9-10.
Yep.
And that's for the technically the 8 spot. So whoever were to win ends up winning that game is going to be playing Miami. So that's the disastrous portion of it. Is I don't necessarily know how they would match up well against Miami. Jimmy Butler is probably going to give them some buckets, but hey, I don't know. Just keep your wives from around that man.
Right. I really want to show you guys. if we get calls like this, we're gonna be just fine. Can you guys see this? Am I screen sharing correctly?
You aren't.
Not yet.
I am.
No.
Not yet. Okay. It's an offensive foul by Brooke Lopez that is the absolute worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life because he's being mugged in the mugged in the paint. And it's just hilarious. I'm trying to figure out a way to screen share this. But Jeff, do you have anything else you want to share about the West Coast before we move on here?
No, not really. Not on the West Coast. I mean, I said, you know, I just know a couple of the players that are out there, Golden State. I just don't see them putting it all together. And Phoenix, I think Phoenix is good to go again.
They're on the redemption tour, Phoenix. They got to redeem themselves after that last year. I don't know what. I mean, wow. But they were up 2-0, right? 2-0 and blew it?
Yeah, I believe so. It was something like that. Which, it's that whole thing. Sometimes you guys people like to make jokes and it adds extra chips on players' shoulders and stuff. And I think Giannis Antetokounmpo started hearing all the talk about all he could do is dunk and stuff like that, and then he put on a show for the rest of the series. So sometimes the media really hurts you. I don't necessarily know if I blame Phoenix on that because all those games were still very series, like a good series. They could have won. Those games could have swung any direction. It just unfortunately Giannis went off. So
he's a monster.
Okay,
he's a monster.
He is a monster. He's a freak of nature. He definitely earned his nickname. There's no doubt about that. But his jump shot is weak. Weak-ass jump shot, boy.
And I will also just add this. I truly think that the Western Conference has gotten snubbed because of the injury to Steph Curry. And I still think that we'll probably see some good games out there. But that Golden State team is actually a lot better than people think. I mean, I'm not saying that they're as good as they were when they were winning championships every year, which was only 6 or 7 years ago. But they actually were very, very spectacular with him on the court, and Klay Thompson really started to come around. So I was actually kind of excited to watch some of their series. I don't hate them as much anymore now that they're not there every year.
They're like a regular team now. They have to earn all of them. Yeah, exactly.
I don't mind Steph as much anymore. So
I've let go of the hate a little bit as well. It feels a little bit better to have that lifted off of you. All right, let's talk about Masters and opening weekend baseball in our signature segment. Yeah, I need to. Exactly. I'm working on sound effects. I really am. I will have them soon. No doubt about it. Okay, so Andy, I'll speak for him for just a second. Crushed it in the Masters. He crushed, dude. He made a healthy chunk of change playing DFS Masters tournament style. I wish he could be on to tell us about all his awesome picks, but he crushed us in the tournament he made. He entered in a bunch of different ones on his own and apparently was at least top 5 from the total amount that I saw he put on there. That dude was top 10 in every tournament that he was in. So anybody out there, check us out for the golf stuff. Andy, our boy Birdie Baby, got you for sure. My lineup was terrible. I am useless in that field. Don't listen to a word I have to say about golf. Hefe, you got anything about the Masters? Hefe. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Hefe gone. Doski, what you got on the Masters?
Yeah, it looks like those good old aliens. It's been a while since they've actually come and abducted Jeff. So, but yeah. So, first and foremost, congratulations to Scotty Scheffler. I believe he is number 1 in the world right now. I think he was number 1 going into the tournament, and he definitely took care of business in that tournament. Before we get too deep into everything else that I was going to say about the wrap up of the Masters and everything, I do want to say I didn't make anywhere close to as much as Andy did, but I did make money on the Masters. I learned something that I probably did not need to know, and that's that you can play showdowns for golf. So you can already see who is doing well and pick them. So I did that because what happened is I missed out on you guys' tournament, and he sent it 2 weeks ago. So there was absolutely no reason for me not to get a lineup in that. That's my fault. But I'm glad that I did because I was so upset the day of, and I really wanted to get one in. And the only thing I saw was showdowns. I'm like, I'm just going to do these. Well, the first day I won $45. The second day I won $28. And the third day I did not win anything. I broke even. But hey, I came up a little bit something in there, man. Those I will be playing every single showdown tournament that I can for golf. I accept those because I'm just now learning some of these players. But anyway, some of those takeaways, though, other than Scotty winning, obviously we all cared about Tiger Woods and how he played. His first day was a lot better than the rest. He did make the cut. But then, he finished 6 over, which isn't bad we're talking about a guy who we didn't know if he was even going to golf again. We didn't even definitively know if he was going to play in the Masters until it was time to tee off, truly, because they still had him questionable, even though he said he was going to play. He could have showed up and, hey, foot's not feeling that great, legs not feeling that great, I'm not playing. So, the fact that he played through the entire tournament itself is just a major accomplishment. And I think everyone should be happy to know that he is already committed to the Open. So we will be seeing Tiger Woods again here playing soon. But the biggest thing is Rory McIlroy, man. He started the Sunday 10 down, I believe, 10 under lead, which was Scheffler. And he shot a 64, tying the record on the course for the 4th round. And he actually finished in 2nd place, just 3 strokes behind Scheffler, which is just amazing. This dude went off on the last day. So that would have been an epic comeback. Scheffler obviously didn't allow that to happen. He was just so far ahead. He just kind of had to play even golf at that point. But, just kind of a few amazing headlines in there. We also had an Ohio golfer. He didn't make the cut. His name was Austin Greaser, but he played pretty decent. I think he was actually just finished outside of the first cut. So, hey, that's cool. Just a shout out to that guy, Austin Greaser. Congratulations on getting out there and doing your business for Ohio. I don't know where you're from in Ohio. Probably somewhere not around here, or else we probably know a little bit more about you. But
he went to Kent State.
Did he? I thought he went to. I thought he was a Tar Heel. I thought I read that he
there
was
was
a
a Kent State guy that was in the tournament this week too.
That guy's probably not from Ohio. He probably just went to Kent State. We'll claim you too, Kent State. Kent State. Can't beat Akron in the NCAA tournament, or to get in the NCAA tournament is what you can't do. Laugh about that on social media. Tell that.
Oh, it was so good. I still feel the waves of amazingness from that victory right there. So good.
Yeah.
Hefe, what do you got on the Masters?
Well, you know what? Congratulations to Scheffler. And I mean, the dude's won 4 tournaments since the Super Bowl. And nobody knew anything about him, and now he's the #1 golfer in the world. And he seems like a really good guy. And I'm going to go away from like some of the other players. And yeah, what Rory did on Sunday was amazing. I watched it, and he put himself and did all the things that you need to do, because #2 means a lot as well. When you play in the Masters, it qualifies you for tournaments later down all kinds of stuff. And Scheffler's life is going to change, and his little girlfriend that he hung out with there at the end, and his whole family and all that, everything's going to change for them. And I always appreciate that. The new guy winning. When Ben Curtis, Kent State golfer, won the British Open, changed his life. You know what I mean? You qualify for so many majors after that and all those other things that happen. And that was awesome. But I'm going to go a little bit the other way. It's like, I almost feel like the coverage was lax this year. And look, the Masters is always awesome for a really super nice early nap on Sunday. And then you wake up just in time to watch the last 5 holes. And you know what? This year they didn't wake you up because all they were doing was talking about Tiger and all these other guys, and they weren't giving Scheffler his due, man. And once Tiger started fading and it was well known he wasn't going to be in contention for the top 10, even the viewership turned off. And look, I heard this a little bit today on other talk shows, but the Pro Golfers Association, the PGA, is banging Tiger out to the end. They're going to ride this horse as long as they can, because if Tiger's not there, the ratings are not there. And it doesn't matter how many great golfers there are and how many young golfers there are and this and that, but you know what? They're going to ride this Tiger thing out as long as they can. Coming up on the PGA, Phil's the defending champion, and he hasn't played. You know what I mean? So I think that the PGA and the announcing for the PGA events are going to be – they're going to have to figure it out. You either ride these old dogs until they're done, or you start pumping some of these young guys and getting them in the mix. It's just there's too many new young guys. It's hard to pump one of them. But Scheffler – it's the best we've seen in a couple of years, so I'm going to big congrats to that.
Yep, congratulations to the young man. You did it. You done it. Got your jacket. That's a green jacket, right? That's
here's a pretty interesting one. So Scheffler is actually from Highland Park High School. I don't know where that is, but in the last 3 years, they've actually produced a World Series champion with Clayton Kershaw and a Super Bowl champion with Matthew Stafford. So now they just got a green jacket with Scheffler.
So that's Cali. It's got to be Cali somewhere.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. That really is impressive. We're going to go on here to our final segment of the day, and we finally get to talk some baseball. Let's go. Opening week. Oh, aspirations have never been higher. Never been higher. Hefe, how are them Cubbies doing, and what did you think about the opening week in baseball?
Hey, well, as far as the opening week in baseball goes, we took 2 out of 3 from the Brewers, and we beat both of their aces, 2 of the top 10 pitchers in baseball, Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, 9-0. Oh, and my boy Suzuki, he's got 6 RBIs already, going to be the NL Rookie of the Year. That's my man. I pegged him late in my draft, and, well, so far he's working out. I mean, it's an early season. But, hey,
you got him late.
I ended up getting Beaver a lot earlier than I wanted to, and I didn't want him. But let's go Beaver and the Tribe tomorrow. I think they're going to be fine. But as far as opening weekend, it was nice. You know what? A lot of guys that were in new places did big things. Schwarber, home run, his first at bat in Philly. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of stories like that went around Major League Baseball this week. Stanton, Rizzo's hit 3 home runs already. Stanton's hit 2 home runs, so the Yankees are just crushing it as far as that goes. And, hey, it's baseball. And now I'm vested because by the end of the season, I'm usually about $1,000 in fantasy money. So here we go. As my wife says every summer, I'll see you in October.
Right. No doubt about it, man. Yeah, I feel that for sure. The fantasy dollars got to come in. You got to take home the crown any way you can. That's just what you got to do, no doubt, man. I have been waiting to talk about this guy because when I first checked the Indian starting lineup, and it took me too long to do. When I first looked at it, I was like, who the hell is Stephen Kwan? Who is this guy? Where'd he come from? I'm waiting to see Nolan Jones. I'm waiting to see Bobby Bradley hitting a little higher in the lineup. Maybe he took a step forward. I'm waiting to see maybe a surprise Josh Naylor's back. You know, I'm waiting for any of those. And I see Stephen Kwan hitting second. Well, this guy, Stephen Kwan, has reached base 15 times already in the first week of baseball, and that's a major league record.
8 for 10.
Yeah. He's drawn 5 walks. He's gotten 8 hits. He hasn't swung and missed a pitch. Literally, he hasn't swung and missed yet. That is incredible. He's a true rookie. He's a true rookie. This is unheard of. I don't give a damn if you play in the Kansas City Royals, who do have a decent pitching staff this year. But I mean, oh my goodness, this guy out of nowhere. He did make an error today, but he made up for it with a bases clearing triple later on in the game. This guy's the real deal. I never even heard of him, and I'm super excited that he plays for us and he's doing so well. And he's off to a great start. Obviously, things are a little loud. Right. It's a very long season. I know. I'm tempering my expectations, but my gosh,
amazing.
He hasn't missed a pitch yet. That's incredible. Look, I'm super pumped about this. I don't think the Indians are gonna stink like Birdie Baby was saying. Andy was talking smack. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be in the race. I do expect us to just barely miss the playoffs, but I am hoping that I'm wrong. I'm really hoping that I'm wrong on that because Detroit is really, really good. They've showed it already with a couple of big games already here. And the White Sox,
Minnesota,
they're obviously a problem, So I'm not worried about the Twins or the Royals. I'm not worried about either one of them. Carlos Correa, that was the most pointless signing in the world. Are you kidding me? He can opt out of his deal if Minnesota's not in the race. He can get out of his deal and demand to be traded by the All-Star break. That's in the contract. So, I mean, it's like 100% money grab. Let me grab this money real quick, play for Minnesota for a minute, and then let me dip out of here and go to a contender. Like, are you joking me? How strange. I don't like it.
Well, hey,
but
me and the fam are going to be at Wrigley Field to watch the Braves and the Cubs on Father's Day, Sunday, June 19th.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. Love that. Love that.
That's why I loaded my fantasy team up with Braves.
Oh, did you? That's why you loaded up with Braves? Well, that's not a bad team to load up with. That's not a bad team at all. Jorge Soler, who's that? Austin Riley. He's nice. Man, Ozzy. Dude. Yeah,
Matt Olson.
Olsen. No, they're loaded, man. They're absolutely loaded. They won the World Series for a reason. They're a very, very deep team.
Going down Father's Day, though.
Maybe we can go ahead and throw this on the next show or something. This long talk you guys are going here. It's like good quick take. Good quick take. So that's the problem with baseball. It's just not quick. You just need to shorten it up a little bit. So anyway.
Right.
Too many games, man. That's why your aspiration's so high for this guy. It's a great start, definitely a great start. But man, the way you're talking, this guy's gonna hit 1,000 this year. So.
No. I'm just saying he's a lot better than I thought he was. And
you didn't even know he was, or you didn't know what he was.
Who he was?
I didn't know who he was. I did not.
He's a lot better than I thought he was. So I didn't know.
Better than I thought who he was.
He's better than I thought he was. Right?
Yeah. So exactly. I'm not gonna do what everyone thinks I'm gonna do, which is go and talk about the Red Sox, even though that they did go and they took that game last night, which was awesome. But honestly, I'm gonna spend my 90 seconds of fame here talking about Shohei Ohtani, man. He didn't start off hitting too well, but one thing that was really incredible to me for opening day particularly was he's actually the first player in either league to hit for his team and pitch for his team to open up. He led off and
first pitch, first swing.
Yeah, that's just fun, man. He was fun last year. I'm looking forward to him being fun this year. Like I said, unfortunately, he was 0 for 4 from the plate. Houston, I think they might have been one of the teams that had him figured out last year, and I think they are kind of going down the same path so far. But as far as his pitching performance was concerned, I stayed away from him in DFS because I'm like, I don't want anything to do with Houston. We know that those guys are usually pretty good at hitting, or at least cheating and figuring out what you're throwing so he can hit you or something. But he did pitch 4.2 innings of one run ball, and he struck out 9, only walked 1, and 3 of those strikeouts were actually courtesy of Jose Altuve. And that's only been done to him. Well, that's been done to him 3 times. The pitchers who did that were Matt Cain, I think in 2014, Zach Greinke in 17, and then Scherzer last year. So, I mean, he did all that in 80 pitches, man. He did all of that in 80 pitches, which to me just tells me like we're looking to see something special from this guy again. The reigning AL MVP is not going away quietly. I think he's ready to go do it again. He's ready to go do it bigger. Whether or not he's going to be able to repeat as MVP is going to be probably a little bit more contingent on, and this is a big if Mike Trout and Rendon could stay healthy behind him in that lineup. Because unfortunately, he needs them to be out there. People are going to learn from what he was able to do last year. So just really looking forward to seeing Ohtani work this year. And I'll leave my Red Sox talk for next week. Like I said, I don't want to get too in depth about that.
With that LA team, Jared Walsh is about to steal the show out there. That's my guy. This is his year. He's gonna steal the show. Not that people are gonna forget about Ohtani. He's gonna ball out, of course, but my dude Jared Walsh is coming up. Hey, final
Ohtani
thoughts.
Is the show.
Ohtani is the show. I mean, they went on and made a whole rule for the guy and everything, which a lot of old school baseball heads really hate that. And it's actually like a small group of people refusing to watch that team because of it. I think that's ridiculous.
Well, we know why that is, truthfully.
Yeah, that could be for lots of other. Yeah,
I'm not going there. I'm just stating that these people are out here doing that exact thing. All right, so final words from you guys before. Let's leave the people with something positive or a piece of advice or something you're excited about. Hefe, what you got?
Look, like we said, thoughts and prayers to the Haskin family, the Ohio State family, even the Steelers family this week. Man, it was tragic. And, the Cavs have a good chance to cap off a great season this year, tomorrow night. So I'm going to be watching. It'll be the first Cavs game I've watched this year. Woo! Imagine that. But you know what? I'm going to be watching and rooting. Go Bulls. Doubt it's going to happen. And as always, go Cubs, go.
Go Cubs, go. I'm going to try. I want to see. Joe, you gave me an idea.
I'm going to be singing that song on Father's Day.
Look at this. Watch this. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Let me rewind it. All right. Struggle. Offensive foul. Offensive foul. Yeah. Let me one more time. Just one more time. This is why the Cavs can win.
Yeah,
what?
They won't get that.
Oh, we could. It's the refs, dude. Now that play was challenged, which is ridiculous that we're doing that in basketball. But and then it was reversed to a regular foul. But anyhow, yeah, that's what I'm leaving the people with, that riveting offensive foul basketball right there. Joski, what you got for the people?
So I think Jeff touched on it a little bit. We obviously lost a celebrity over the weekend, Dwayne Haskins, and thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. A little bit closer to home, actually a lot closer to home. We lost another celebrity today in his own way, yesterday, and that's my buddy RC. It just seems like these things just keep happening, unfortunately, man. And I think Andy's usually 10 times better with these words, and it all wraps out along something. Just make sure that you enjoy your time with the people that you love every single day. Tell them you love them, let them know, and just don't take anything for granted, because you never know when they're not going to be there anymore. I've really only known him for maybe 2.5 years, but honestly, the impact that man's had in my life is pretty traumatic. I don't think I can name a person who is as infatuated with life as he was. Even on his down days, he seemed to make everyone around him so much happier and everything. So, tragic loss, and it was just very unexpected. You never want to lose anyone like that, but anyone who's like that, it just kind of makes it that much worse. If there's any solace that I can really take out of it, it's just the fact that I know that he lived his life to the fullest, and he spent all of the time that he wanted with the people that he cares about. So rest in peace to him, and prayers out to his family as well. And I definitely miss him.
No doubt about it. Absolutely. Our condolences go out to his family and friends and everybody out there too. Absolutely. That was a big one for sure. Came out of nowhere. But okay. Hey, peace out, everybody. Love, peace, hair grease. Treat your people right. Let's go. IUWE, BlackGammitEntertainment.com. Black Gamut ENT. Gosh dang it.